Hi everyone. Video on positive, negative. So, gonna try to do my best here without Desmos, because with Desmos it's a lot easier. But let's talk about positive and negative with a function. So here are my axis points, right? So I've got my y-axis and my x-axis. Now let's just do some random function. Not gonna give you one exactly, but let's go ahead and just kind of work one out. All right, so there's a quadratic function. And what's important to know for positive and negative are the x-intercepts. Okay, now you might be able to see them on a graph. On the test, you will certainly be able to see where they are, so you don't have to calculate that so much regarding positive and negative. So what is positive and negative? Positive is where the function is above the x-axis. So here on this function, hopefully you can see that without the glare, from this point up is where it's above the x-axis, and from that point up. So there are two separate sections where this function is positive. Now clearly it's going to be positive forever and positive forever, or negative infinity to positive infinity there. Now when it's negative is where the function is below the x-axis. And you can actually trace it with your finger all the way in one continuous motion. It is negative from here to here, okay? Or from there to there. Now, the key with positive and negative, I'm going to try to move this up a little bit. That's better. Oh, I'm still here. It's okay. So, what you want to remember with positive and negative is it has to be represented by x values only. Remember how I said earlier on in this unit that the x-axis is always more important than the y-axis. That will remain true even on things like this. So I have to represent positive and negative, where it's positive and where it's negative on the x-axis. So let's use negative first, because negative is a little bit easier. So, negative. Well, it starts being negative, and because I didn't give you values here, let's just make some up. So let's say that that right there, that point is the point negative 10, 0. And let's say that that one is negative 2, 0. Okay? That would make sense, because that would look accurate based on this graph. So, I want to know where the function begins being negative. And it begins being negative at this point. Now, on that point, it's not negative because it's neither positive nor negative at that point. So it has to be infinitely close to that point. And if you remember interval notation, which you should, the parentheses indicates infinitely close, but not exactly that point. And it starts at negative 10. That's where this function begins being below the x-axis, which is also called negative. And it will be below the x-axis, watch my finger, all the way from negative 10 to negative 2, because that's when the function comes back up and will go above the x-axis. So that function is negative on those 2 points. That's right. Starting point, ending point. Now positive is a little bit more challenging because there are 2 sections. Now, again, x-axis. That's how I represent positive and negative. Yes, I understand that it's positive on this section, but I want to represent where it's positive on the x-axis. This function begins being positive at negative infinity. Okay? Oops. Think domain with this type of thing. Okay? So it's positive, it begins being positive at negative infinity. All the way up to negative 10. So yes, you're going to use the same x value or the x-intercepts twice. And, because there's a break here, it doesn't connect. And we represent and by a u, meaning union, meaning and, right? And it picks back up being positive or above the x-axis at negative 2, and it goes all the way to positive infinity. So, negative is where it's below the x-axis, but I have to represent that by x values. And positive is where it's above the x-axis, but again, I have to represent it by x values. All right? So that's positive and negative. Let me give you another one. All right? And you can try that one, and then pause me, and then I will give you answers to that. All right? Hopefully this is going to be okay. This is certainly different from increase and decrease, but there was already a video on that. So let's do this. Let's use that same point. Okay, same point. So let's just say that point, that x-intercept is negative 2, 0. And let's say that this is 9, 0. Okay, those are the x-intercepts of this function. I need you to tell me where the function is negative and where the function is positive. Okay, so go ahead and pause me. Try that out. All right. Here we are. All right, so you're back. You've paused me. Hopefully you have an answer. The function is negative. It begins being negative at the x value of negative 2. It ends being negative at the x value of 9. So negative, again, is where it's below the x-axis. But I have to represent it by x values. So negative, you got negative 2 to 9. Good to go. Positive, remember it's 2 sections for positive. Negative infinity to negative 2. Junior's barking. And because there's a break here, and then it's from 9 to positive infinity. I don't know why that's so funny when he barks. But he doesn't bark all day except for when I'm on doing a video. All right, so this function is positive in 2 different sections. It's positive from negative infinity to negative 2, and from 9 to positive infinity. So hopefully you got that right. 6-minute video is about 2 minutes longer than I wanted it to be, but you're welcome. Test on Wednesday, so you need to make sure you know all these characteristics very quickly, so I don't think I miss anything here. No, I think the Gatekeeper was pretty fluent, and it had everything on it that you're going to need to know for the test, all right? So I hope you enjoy your week. Remind 101 me if you have any questions, and see you later.